One thing that I struggled a lot with when I moved to Germany, not only the language, but also to grasp everything around insurance. And this is why I'm super happy to partner up and have Feather sponsor this episode. The insurance company that is very much targeted to our expats, just like me. They have an English service and they have very good prices for expats, which is exactly the reason why I chose them. For me, for liability, and for my dog. I chose Feather for 3 main reasons, but they also had online service completely in English and 0 paperwork. They are super flexible and modern, so as life changes, you can just add on extra plans or change them or tweak them. So for example, when I got Minx, my dog, it was super easy to just add her to the insurance plan. And the third reason is that their customer support is super easy and reliable. So whenever I did not understand anything about what I needed and what was the best alternative for me, they were there helping to guide me. So if you'd like to have a look or sign up for any of Feather's insurances, go to featherinsurance.com and use the code PLAYFUL1 in caps lock to get a €15 cash back. I am so excited to be here today with
Me10. Hey, cheers to that.
Cheers, or do you say it in German? Like what's the name?
My name?
Can I say Meg10?
Yeah, it's Meg10. It's not Meg10.
Damn, that sounds more hip hop though. So
I mean, yeah. It's kind of the root of it, I guess. There used to be a rapper called Meg10 actually. I did not know that when I picked the name. But I had like this artwork on my wall. Meg10s are actually weapons. And so I spray painted these weapons and they were like part of an artwork that I made. And then when it came to like picking a name, I was like, well, let's choose something that's like, you know, usually male connoted, but then like, let's transform it into something feminine and make it like a female name, like Meg, you know? That's the story.
I like that. So was this back when you were more hip hop only?
Oh yeah, for sure. This was like 2017 when I started DJing. I actually only got into DJing because I didn't like in hip hop, which was like my go-to genre and which still is my go-to genre. I didn't see a lot of like female representation behind the decks or like in the promoter scene. And so I was like, okay, I guess I have to be the change that I want to see. And then, yeah, my partner taught me DJing, and then I kind of took it from there. And yeah, and then in the pandemic, I kind of became more open to more genres.
So it's so fresh.
Yeah, it's quite fresh actually.
Amazing. All right, but so I invited you for a date, and I must say I'm a little bit shy.
You are?
Yeah.
You don't come off as shy.
No, I'm normally never shy, but I think you're so badass.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And I think also that's why my view is that maybe not so many people dare flirting with you. Is this correct?
It is correct, actually. I don't even know, like, I guess it's also because, you know, I've been in a relationship for a really long time. I'm like basically a serial monogamist. I've been in a relationship for 12 years now. Yeah, so.
And you got a pit bull. So people are like, better stay away.
Exactly. So better don't mess with me. My pit bull's gonna eat you. No.
Probably.
She's nice. No, it's I guess yeah, maybe it's the energy I give off, and also like the fact that people actually just know that I'm not available like that. You know.
So you don't flirt either with people.
Not really. I feel like after 12 years of being in a relationship, you kind of forget how to do that. Or maybe I do and I don't even realize. I don't know.
But if you would flirt, how would you do?
How I would flirt? I think like just joking, like just bouncing off each other. I feel like this is my way of like flirting and like having chemistry with somebody is like if you are funny and you tickle my funny bone and like we can like bounce off each other and like, you know, make silly jokes and stuff, that's kind of flirty to me.
That's what he did? That's how he managed?
Oh my gosh, yes. He's very funny, actually.
Aha, those bastards.
Yes.
All the good women from us. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck those funny men. Yeah, like I've known him since forever. So I'm an OG Berliner. I went to school here and I met my boyfriend in school actually. And we used to be like besties then. And then after school finished and everything wrapped, we started dating.
So it was a good foundation, like the friend. That's what they say,
sure.
right? The friendship makes it last.
I can agree. Like I can attest to that, I think. Like we were best friends for 5 years before we started dating. So I've known him for a longer than half of my life.
Yeah. You're also, that you just mentioned, an OG Berliner.
Yeah.
Who is falling out of love with Berlin.
Kind of.
What is going on?
I don't know. I think kind of like the political situation right now in Berlin is like irking me, and I'm like always so happy when I get the opportunity to leave. Like on the weekends when I play in different cities. Like last weekend I was in Scotland and it was so lovely. And then yeah, there are like so many more cities that have caught my attention now and where I feel like I can relate to what's going on in the world more when I'm there.
All right.
Versus when I'm here.
So you're thinking about Scotland now?
Oh, no. It's too cold.
All right. But are you thinking about moving for sure?
No, not really. Because like also all of my family is here. All of my friends are here. So I could not see myself like moving fully away from Berlin. But I do see myself spending like longer periods of like the year in other places. Like for example, last year I was in Valencia for the first time. And I thought it was just beautiful there. The beach is beautiful. My dog loves to swim. It doesn't get super cold in the winter. And also like the city is really green. To me, like you have a dog too. And it's
yeah,
like,
I was just gonna say it drives you. When you see your dog happy, you're like,
exactly.
I'm happy now.
I'm happy now. And also like it makes my life easier when there are like parks and stuff like that where I can go with my dog. And so, yeah, I kind of want to move, like not move, but like spend like months at a time in like other places. And Brussels is nice too, for example. I made a lot of friends there. Also like Brussels is really queer, which I love.
It's a cool city.
It is, yeah.
So if we potentially imagine that you would break up with your hubby since 12 years back, what would be a pickup line you'd go for? Like that someone would say to you that you'd be like falling for?
A pickup line that somebody could say to me? I guess like it's always nice to give me a compliment.
All right, yeah. Is that kind of your love language? That
like compliments?
Attention?
Of course, I guess whose isn't, right?
Yeah.
Like attention.
Yeah, I always think that's weird, but I mean some of them are like more triggering than other positively triggering than others. But
I think like love bombing and shit like that does not fly with me. Like I'm a Sagittarius, I like my space.
Me
you
too.
know. You too?
What
See,
date?
that's why.
Yeah, I always vibe so.
Me
well
too with other Sagittarius. Me too.
Because we like adventure.
Exactly,
and
we're so free spirited and. Yeah.
What's your
November 30th is my birthday.
Stop it.
You're kidding. This is your birthday too?
It's mine.
You're kidding! Oh my god, I swear we didn't like talk about this beforehand.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I never met anyone on the exact same.
Me either, just my dog. It's her birthday too.
Really?
Yes.
Amazing, I must meet your dog.
Oh my god, we have to celebrate together
we have to
next
do
time.
That, for sure.
Please.
Oh, like, okay, I get all swept away already. All right, need to focus, Amanda. What are the biggest red flags for you?
The biggest red flags? Okay, I think this is maybe controversial to say, but insecure people make me feel insecure, and I don't like feeling insecure.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like when somebody gives me the feeling that I need to watch what I'm saying, stuff like this, that is like a major red flag for me. That makes me feel like I'm not comfortable around the person.
I never thought about this, but it completely makes sense. I'm not myself then, I realize.
Exactly. Like, I feel like I have to censor or I have to like, you know, shrink myself in a way.
Yeah.
That is a red flag for me. And also, I guess like the normal, like dishonesty and like not being able to communicate and stuff like that. I'm 33 now.
Me too.
I love this.
Oh my
Cheers
God.
to that.
Cheers. That is so funny. We're like living in two different universes at the same time.
Yes, you're my Swedish sister.
That's it. All right. Wild. You don't want to, when you find yourself suddenly having a different personality or saying things that you actually don't, because that happens with me.
Yeah.
I say things that I actually don't think,
Yeah.
just to like make them feel like more
Yes.
comfortable in the group.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, I'm also collecting stickers. I love that. And then that was such a boring topic we spoke about. Anyways.
Yeah, and also like I feel like I used to be a major like people pleaser growing up, you know. I kind of feel like I was always like more in the background and like, you know, very nerdy and, you know, all of this like more like shy and everything. And I feel like now I've kind of grown out of it and I've learned to embrace myself more. And yeah, and
Were
then
you good in school?
I was.
It was really easy for you?
Yeah, I think so. And also like I had to bust my ass because like my, you know, immigrant parents and grandparents, they always tell you have to work harder than the Germans in my case, to like make it count and to be seen.
And a girl too.
And a girl as well, exactly. And so I always was a major nerd and like doing a lot of homework and stuff and like you know, learning for the exams and stuff. And that carried like until I finished my master's. I have like a 1.0 grade master in sociocultural studies.
Right,
Yeah.
interesting. But you also, we spoke about it. Okay, we spoke about your hip hop background, but and how you got into DJing. But how come? What is the story about Homies?
So the story about Homies is, so as like picture this, 2017. I just came back from studying in Mexico, where I studied gender. I was like super politicized and very like, you know, Mexico is very intersectional and very feminist, and that kind of had a very like deep impact on me. And when I came back, I was like carrying that spirit with me, basically. And then like some things bothered me about like the local party scene, like especially the hip hop nights that, you know, I wanted to go to for the music. They were like not as welcoming, like a welcoming space towards women and queer folks. And so
how did you notice that?
just like the vibes, the energy, even like the gender imbalance at the parties, I guess, and also like the music that you were listening to. It was like mainly, you know, like the Drakes and the Migos and the Travis Scotts and like all these like guy rappers, which I love too, but I also wanted to hear like female artists and like what else is there, like queer artists that were always overlooked in hip hop.
And it's also it doesn't have as much respect at all. It's more so they're playing around a little bit. They're doing their thing. Let them play.
Exactly.
It's this kind of vibe, like not taking it serious.
Exactly. I feel like maybe that's like changed now a little bit, shifted a bit because I guess the labels and like the important players have realized how profitable of a market women are also, you know, like to market music to them as well. And yeah, and I guess like just going with the times and everything. But like in 2017, this was not the case. And like I didn't know a single female promoter. I knew of a party that like boasted itself with like female like iconography, like, you know, the aesthetics was like very like based off of female artists, the name even. And the music that they were playing was like all female artists, but then it was like all men in the lineup. And then I was like, hey, why don't you guys like invite at least one female DJ?
Because this is the whole thing about Homies, that it's lifting women and non-binary artists.
Exactly.
So did you do it all by yourself?
No, I actually started with my friend from school also, Lucia. And we built this together. Like we had this idea of creating this space where we would only have like female and non-binary DJs playing. And also like this should reflect in like the music selection and, you know, just like to make to create a space away from the mainstream of hip hop, where like our identities were celebrated and where like the dominance was kind of like reversed, you know. And with this idea in mind, we did like the first homies party, which was a pain in the ass because like nobody trusted us, nobody would give us their venue, nobody would believe in our idea. They would be like, if you don't involve like guys into your concept, this is not gonna fly and stuff like that.
No one will come.
No one will come, you know. And like, look at me now, 24, like 7 years later,
Yeah.
still going strong.
Stronger than, I don't know, but it feels like you're really buzzing right
Absolutely. Like, I feel that too. I feel like we're making this move to Watergate now, which is, to me, such a big, important moment because this is such an institution, especially as like an OG Berliner, you know Watergate, you know. They have shaped the club scene here so much. And then like going with what used to be like a purely hip-hop, dancehall, like reggaeton party to a space that is like has its tradition in electronic music and like just merging these worlds together, I think is going to be so much fun.
Yeah. We were just touching on the imbalance in the scene, and some people that I spoke with recently have said that like they who are male, they don't feel that they have a place anymore because
oh my
they are.
gosh.
Yeah. I'm neutral in this as a journalist.
You have to be.
No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, everyone knows where I stand. But I mean, what's your view on this? That like, of course, a lot has happened. But what's your view on this? From outside, it can seem to many people as it's more equal.
Yeah.
But from your perspective, how has it shifted, or what is it today?
Listen, like I feel like I kind of can see where some of these guys are coming from, because I see that too. Like I see that, or like me as a consumer, I give my attention a lot to like the female and the gender minority DJs, and I relate to what they're doing more. And I feel like a lot of the girlies, a lot of the gays and theys, they all feel this way. And I don't know, like I can see why like some guys would feel overlooked, but also I think you have to take into consideration like for how long this like imbalance has persisted. And I feel like there is still a lot of imbalance there. Like if you look at festival lineups, for example, or if you look at even like the mainstream compared to the underground, I think maybe the underground is always like a little more pioneering in things, you know, as it should be. But also this doesn't really carry into the mainstream. Like when you look at how much DJs are earning, there is like a huge gender pay gap.
This is super interesting. Like where did you find the information, or how have you noticed this?
So this is like, I'm purely like going off of like when I'm talking about mainstream, I'm talking about like the top 50 DJs, for example, that always like, you know, these music magazines put out like, okay, at the top of the list, it's usually someone like David Guetta or something like this. And then, you know, you look down, and then somewhere in there is a female DJ. It's usually somebody like Peggy Gou or Nina Kravitz. And then you go down, and then you find one more, and like, you know, this is how I perceive it in the bigger picture. And then you have the boiler rooms of the world, and you have like other things where you see a lot of like representation of female DJs, which is amazing because also they are an important like institution where like a lot of people get exposed to new music, you know? But yeah, I feel like also when it comes to producers, for example, it's a whole different story. I just recently saw a statistic where like the share of, you know, like women, this is like not considering gender minorities, this is like just purely binary, like male, female. The share of women in like songwriting and like producing and performers is increasing, but then the increased share of producers was at like 6% of the market. And I think 6% is really not good enough. Like we still have a lot of room to grow from this. And that's also like where I want to like focus my attention to, like moving forward. Like I'm putting out a various artist compilation on the 22nd of March as well. So maybe when this is out,
yeah,
go on Bandcamp, buy it, homies.bandcamp.com.
Link will be there in the description.
Yes, and also like all the proceeds are going to Doctors Without Borders for their Palestine relief efforts. This is the very first time Homies is releasing anything, and I mean, in true Homies fashion, we wanted to focus, of course, on our like global network of femme and non-binary producers and DJs, and I think this is the way to go. Honestly, like at least for me, this is always what drives me.
Yeah, and you just touched on something that I think is. I was just thinking. So I feel maybe techno right now doesn't feel very political, but hip hop has always been, and that's where you have your roots. And you are a person who definitely combines politics and arts.
Thank you.
Well, it's obvious, and it's something that some people say shouldn't be combined. What's your view on this?
I also hear this a lot. Like, for example, in my boiler room, I like made it a point to start with an intro that acknowledges that this is like a really different time, like difficult time to be in Germany right now, because like our voices are being silenced, and I just wanted to encourage people. At the time, it was like November 2023. I wanted to encourage everybody in the room to raise their voice and say something against like the siege of Gaza and the suffering of the people there. I honestly did not imagine that when it came out in February that this would still be like as relevant. I thought we would have found a solution by now.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm like super sad we did not, and I guess it stayed relevant. And like under this little snippet that I posted on Instagram, for example, from this intro, some people were like, oh, you should like separate these things, like your political stance has no place in music and stuff like that. And I'm like, why are you even on my page? Because this is not what I stand for. Like the very reason why I got into music was to make a political statement and to like reverse gender imbalances and like show everybody how badass we were, you know, how much like we deserve to have a spotlight as well. And for somebody to like maybe, I don't know, like maybe they have listened to one set of mine or something like that, and they think, oh, okay, like she's just another DJ who's like not political or anything like that. I felt like I needed to let him know, like, then please see yourself out. If this is your stance, like, this is not me, who I am as an artist. And I guess it would, like, there wouldn't be a Meg10 or a homies party if it wasn't for my politics. Because I studied politics too. It's like, I don't know, like, my parents were like, oh, you studied and then you're not using your degree or anything. But also,
look at you.
This is like, I'm carrying it with me into this stuff that I love, like, which is music and culture.
Speaking of your boiler room, how was that received when it, like, and how was that for you back then, and how was it received now that it got out?
It was, oh my gosh, I was so nervous. Like, it's my first boiler room ever. I've never played it before, and I was like waiting for years and years to be like acknowledged like that. And then when I finished it, I kind of felt like, yeah, I deserve that. You know, like I've been around for a while, and I feel like in Berlin, at least, like what I do has been making waves. And so I was really proud to finally have gotten that opportunity. And I think the reception was 99% positive. Like, it was super, super nice. I was so nervous that day. Like, I literally cried before starting my set, like 2 minutes before. I saw like a bunch of friends who I didn't know were coming, and then they were all there, and they were all like there for me. And it got me like so emotional and overwhelmed. And then I messed up some stuff also during the set, and I was like, oh my God, people are gonna call me out on this on YouTube. Like, I was scared to read the comments and stuff. But in the end, nobody really noticed any of, or like they didn't comment on it. Don't look.
For it, I mean.
Also, it's like, it's fine. Like if they noticed, it's fine. I know like not every transition was perfect, but it's part of it, I guess. Like if you're nervous like that, that happens, and you just move on.
Also carrying something, this is also maybe why some people avoid doing more than focusing on the music, carrying a message that is close to your heart.
Yeah.
It makes you shaky and lose a little bit of focus, I can imagine.
Hell yeah. And also like I was surrounded by a lot of friends and we were dancing a lot, and you know, when you get carried away during your set, like just dancing and like shaking ass and stuff. So I just forgot, oh my God, the next transition is coming up. Because like my set was already like only 45 minutes. And I wanted to put in as much stuff as possible and like showcase kind of like who I am, like where I come from. I played the rap fantasy stage that day, which was kind of fitting because like this is where I come from sonically. And I like wanted to merge like, okay, the rap references with the electronic beats that I love, and you know, like, and also like some Arabic music, because like I had my bitch Saman with me.
Well done. That was beautiful.
And she's a belly dancer, and I was like, okay, I want you to have your moment as well, and like I tried to like merge everything together. So yeah, for me it's like it's perfect. It's turned out great, and I think a lot of people liked it a lot.
Yes, obviously. But okay, thinking ahead, like what are you gonna focus on later this year?
Oh, it's so hard to say because I am also a very spontaneous person and I hate planning ahead.
Expect that.
I mean, who am I telling this to? Sagittarius. So yeah, it's like really hard for me to sit down and like plan out stuff. But so what is ahead, what is coming like this year is going to be more European homies parties. Like I started this last year. I branched out into Spain and into London with a party.
Wow.
And I want to keep that going. I want to go.
How was that? Was it?
It was so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow, it's so much work to or like I mean the pressure to go to a new city.
Yeah.
And just like trust that.
Oh my gosh. You don't even know. I paid for all of this like out of my pocket as well. And now I applied for funding.
Great.
Smart girl. I applied for funding, and like I hope I'm gonna get it, because that would like take a lot of the load off my shoulders to always have to like bootstrap everything. But yeah, like if that works out, I'm definitely, so like there is already one date that is in the works in Lisboa. In Lisbon, on the 13th of April. It's gonna be a trampoline park rave.
What?
Yes.
That's so wild. Did you come up with that yourself?
No, actually my friend Vondi, who is like my partner for this event, her party is called Digital Destiny. And she's doing her parties like regularly in Lisbon. She's based there too. And it was like her idea to do this, and then she invited homies to join in, and I was like, hell yeah, like this sounds like a lot of fun. I've never been to a trampoline park. It's gonna be the first time for me, and I'm like, okay, worried for the safety for the people, but she said, I got you, girl. She got all the licenses, she got all the security people, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh my God, I would love to see this. That's so wild.
Well, if you don't have anything to do on April 13th,
maybe I'll show up.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. It was so lovely to meet you.
It was lovely to meet you too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm so excited for you and your journey.
Thank you. Likewise. I love Playful Mag, by the way.
Thank you so much.